He said the
I
criteria be
like
too
it how it
much.
is. I don't try to nitpick around it. Obviously, we're gonna look at stats and look at why a team won or lost, but it's a lot of nitpicking going on around our game right now. It's just no fun to even talk to anybody about
Wait, do you
basketball.
think do you think that the players should be like ranked or talked about in this manner? Or,
I
like, how
mean,
do
you
you think?
should. Yeah, I mean, of course you're gonna rank players. Of course you're gonna compare errors and all of that stuff. That doesn't necessarily mean that I like it. Of course it's gonna go down like that, but I like players for what they bring to the table individually. And circumstances and context matters a lot, and it's hard to dive into the context with so much conversation
Yeah,
being had.
Katie,
You know what I'm saying?
So it's
Katie,
basically
how you feel
if you're
about
good. Wait.
how you feel about
So
rim
basically,
protection from the
it's for
sun?
you. It's if you're good or not. That's all it is. If you're good, you good. If
It's,
you're
but
not, you're not. Simple.
it's really that
Okay.
simple.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, you're gonna have your moments, and certain moments gonna matter more than others, and you want to see dudes produce in those moments. All that shit is cool, but like at the end of the day, you know if that player is good or
Yeah.
not.
So you don't
Yo,
fuck
so
with
what
a
When
about
did
ranking.
the
so
You
when
fuck
did
with
wait,
tiers.
stop. When did this switch up happen with you? Because I
Once I
don't
got
see
to the
that.
and,
league,
So if that was the case, so you never, so it didn't really matter to you if you was the best player in the league or not.
what like no, being the best player in the league is like what like being the best player in the league. I just want to be in the conversation. I want to be an all star. Let's
damn,
put
But
so
it
but
you
that
then
way.
you
just
said
want to
but then you said but
participate?
then you said at one point you said you was tired of being number two.
Yeah, I was. See, when I said that, we had just lost the championship. That's what I was tired of being. Number two, because we had lost the championship. That was 10 years ago.
Niggas
Wait, so
trying to
you
take him out
cool
of
with like
context, bro. That's
you just
crazy.
cool with participating now?
You's a sick nigga, KB. Oh my god.
Are you
Hey,
serious?
This
I'm
nigga
cool.
trolling,
I'm
but
cool with
Katie,
This
fans.
nigga
I'm
is
cool with fans.
glazing.
all right.
I'm cool with fans consuming the
So
game
back
the
to
way
your
they want to
criteria,
consume
So
it.
wait,
I'm not here to
basically,
sway.
you instead of doing
bro.
rankings like one through five, you just like to do tiers. Like your tier is like, okay, this player's good, this player's good, this player's good.
I
Your
don't.
tier is
I
like, no
don't
play
even
bad.
look at shit like tears.
I
All
don't
right,
I
think he
bro.
don't.
even
All
do
right,
it like
Katie,
that,
what's your
man.
So
criteria
you're
though?
so wait.
I mean, it's kind of the same logic
Katie,
though.
wait.
Wait, hold on.
I
Because
want to be clear. I'm not going to find you ranking players or putting a player over another one in your 15 years in the league. That's what I'm saying.
No, I have a preference on what I like to watch and what I like to see over others. But I appreciate what everybody brings to the game uniquely, bro.
right. So
Everybody.
again, Katie. So again, just because some of these questions are kind of just whatever. So, Katie. So when you're talking about skill sets, for instance, like what for you then makes certain players more effective? It could be in playoff situations, final situation, whatever. What makes a basketball player more effective than others when the game gets tighter, when playoff situations arise, when pressure situations hit? What do you think makes a player better or stand out above others when they're on the court?
That's a great question. I feel like a lot factors in. First of all, can you hold your own on both ends? Can you guard up, and can you go get a bucket on your own? That's the base, right? If you can't do that stuff on your own, it's gonna be hard for you to survive late in games. It's gonna hard for you to just play in general because you can't guard nobody. They're not gonna put you on the floor. You can't create your own shot. Then it's gonna be tough for you to last in the pressure packed moments. So those two things where I look at the most. But I
All right,
mean,
about defense,
you looking at
defense,
you looking at
Wait.
height, you looking at
about
height,
defense, about
weight,
Ash,
defense.
shut
you looking
down,
at
bro.
measurables.
Right. So
Damn.
Coach Katie, so when you evaluate your own game, then so if you're talking about yourself, so
Mm-hmm.
you since the injury, for instance, you have not consistently been able to get to the rim as like you used to. But again, that could be a lot of things. Your game has changed, play styles changed, all that kind of stuff, older, whatever else. So what do you feel about your own game has evolved or changed since you first went to Brooklyn to where you are now with the Phoenix Suns?
I'm more sharp. I don't get to the rim as much because it's just clogged up. If I could get to the rim, I would. But I put pressure downhill, though. I don't just shoot threes. That's the thing. If I'm getting past
You
my
think you put a
man,
lot of pressure on the rim now?
huh?
Yeah. You think you put a lot of pressure on the rim now
I think I drive
compared to
more than I
compared to how
just
you did in
settle for
OKC
threes.
back then?
I don't just settle for threes. If I'm just getting into the paint, making something happen, I don't necessarily got to lay the ball up at the rim.
Wait, but
If
you
I'm
don't
Then
not,
you
think that
take a
you
You
wait
don't
mid
think
wait
you
wait
range.
lost
wait
a step?
wait hold
You
on
don't
hold
think you
on I
lost a
don't
Take
step
a
though?
mid range, nigga.
say what?
Yeah,
You take a
against the
mid
mid range.
range.
Yeah, the mid
Yeah,
range. Mid range post ups against your spots. Like you don't think you lost a step compared to before you tore your Achilles?
lost a step. What you mean?
Do
Like
you
you got
think
You
you
don't
slower.
got
get to the rim.
slower post
You
Achilles
don't get to the rim
injury?
as much as you did before. Pretty much, yeah.
I don't even look at them stats. Am I getting to the rim less?
Bro, you get to the rim like
Bro,
at
yo,
such a low
Katie, do you
percentage,
wait?
bro.
Stop, Katie. Do you think that you get to the rim less than you did before you got hurt?
I feel like I can do what I want. I can move around, maneuver, and make the plays that I want to make.
So do you think I that's a politician answer, but okay, if
No,
that's
I'm
the
just
case,
telling you, like, I'm not dunking or getting to the rim as much. Yeah, there's a lot of players in the rim. There's a lot of people in the paint. I feel like
So
so.
basically,
So,
you attribute
so
more of that, KD, to
if
the
I
players you've been
could,
around.
or just the schemes the teams are throwing out. Some teams may help a little bit more. Some teams may play a little bit zone. But no, I don't feel like I've lost a step. Uh, and I feel like I could play a lot of minutes and still be versatile.
All right, about
so
your three
what?
point
So
shot in the
what? So
playoffs.
wait,
About your 3 point
what?
Hmm?
shot in the
Scheme,
playoffs. Why did that?
I'm gonna say what
Why you
scheme?
think
What
that
scheme were the
changed?
Nuggets running against you for you to shoot that bad?
Just shooting bad, bro.
Oh, you
Wait,
just
so you
shooting
don't
bad.
you don't think
Okay.
you don't think a lack of rim pressure was hurting you in
Oh,
that Boston series?
It's hard to get to the rim when you looked at by 3 or 4 people at all times, man. You think they're just gonna let me drive
Crowding
to
the
the
space,
rim?
basically. Yeah.
but no,
What
but
about
against
gapped
Denver,
in?
but
What
against
about
Denver,
yeah? That's what I'm
you just
saying.
shot
Against
poorly.
Denver,
You just shot poorly.
It's a lot going on in the paint, man. When I'm playing, that's how I look at it. If
All
I
right, but what
don't get
about
the
your 3 point
rebound,
percentage outside of Golden State?
Here, let him finish.
Let him finish what, nigga? He's
Well,
not,
hold on.
bro.
No, hold on,
I'm
hold
asking.
on. Because again, so Katie, so when you're, because I think what everybody's trying to point to is the numbers would suggest that your drives have decreased, your frequency at the rim has decreased, all this other stuff has decreased over time. So even this year, when you played in the Phoenix Denver series and you were being guarded by Aaron Gordon, Bruce Brown, KCP, Christian Brown, whatever, you seem in that series to be settling for more pull-up twos, contested pull-up
I
twos
feel like I
in that.
got to the rim more in that series than I did in the last couple of years. I was getting to the free throw line. I was getting to the paint, driving to the rim off the transition. I felt like I was getting to it downhill in that series.
So for you then when you evaluate your shooting percentages, for instance, in that series, or when KD when you were getting guarded by Aaron Gordon, I think you shot like 38% or whatever the course of that series. That what do you think that's more so you were just missing shots that you
Yes,
normally would have hit just because of the
most
series?
definitely.
Okay.
And I told you that. But hold on, let me ask this question though. You
Oh,
Of
said,
course, they play good defense. Of course, teams play good defense, get a good contest, but it's not like
yo. So
anything
you said you don't fuck.
drastic happen. It's just been
Yo, you
shots.
said you don't fuck with rankings. So as people that's analyzing the game and players that we set expectations for, standards for, they don't live up to that, right? Like,
Who?
how do you feel about that?
Oh, you just saying in general.
You said what?
You said well, people don't live up to
Yeah,
the stand. I don't
the
set
players
standards.
don't live up to the standards
I
or the
don't set.
expectation that set, even for themselves. A player like you probably set it, standards and expectations for yourself. If you don't live up to it, and as fans or even analysts of the game, and we see you don't live up to it, how do you feel about that when it happens? Oh.
Did he duck?
oh, he left.
Bruh, I was
Yeah.
about to ask about that rim pressure, bruh. Listen, I love Katie.
Oh, he
Man,
left.
y'all
That
going
nigga
to
Damn.
hell,
capping.
bro. I had a
That nigga
question.
capping on that
Damn.
rim
Yeah,
pressure,
niggas.
dog.
Nah, niggas is glazed. That KB, you sick nigga, bro. You a sick,
I
sick
didn't
KB
even
acting
nigga.
like he
capping.
fuck
I
with
wanted
that nigga.
answers, bro, because
I didn't
again,
even.
Nah, because I really hated that shit.
I
First off, I
hated
gotta
that
get this
too. What
off.
the
He's
Wait,
back.
what
wait,
the
He's
stop,
back.
fuck
stop,
He's
can
stop,
back.
stop,
y'all?
Say
stop,
he
stop,
back.
stop.
Say he
Wait,
back. Say
stop,
he
stop,
back.
stop. Because niggas was really pissing me off in my DM. For the final time, Eli, Charlize, I cannot see you in the request. Stop DMing me. Yo, let me come up. I can't see you. Oh my God. I can't see you.
Also,
When I
nigga,
see you, I'm going to bring you up.
why the fuck are
Damn.
y'all niggas? I'm trying to like fact check. Nigga, he had two games
Fuck.
where he got to the free throw line less than 5 times. What is this nigga talking about, bro? What the fuck are we talking about? Okay, he's back. Please, KD, answer this question, bro, because I'm kind of confused.
Answer what question?
There was
Mine?
2 games. No, nigga talking about he got rim pressure, and there was 2 games
Tell me again.
where I would
Say it again.
agree.
I ain't hear what y'all
But
said. My fault.
there was the first 2 games where you got less than 4, you got less than 5 free throws. You combined for 6 free throws in two
What
games in that
what
series.
game? What's the series?
Games 1 and 2, and then in particular in game 2, you also took 12 shots behind the arc. What happened in that game? Those 2 games.
Which games?
The first 2 games of the Denver Nuggets series, where you combined for 6 free throw attempts in 2 games, and in one game in particular, you took 12 3 pointers.
Mm-hmm.
and you only took two free throw attempts in that same game.
Bad approach by me by shooting too many threes.
What was the approach that y'all needed? What was the? I'm kind of like that's what I'm asking. Like, what was the approach that came into the concept of I need to attempt, or
I
I
just
might
need to
I
get
might
more
need to get
shots
three
up.
point.
Just get
Okay.
more shots up.
Now I agree. The following two games you got to the free throw line immensely, but then I think the last two games it kind of went back to what you normally would do, which is I would argue selling for a lot more middies than anything else.
That's just I feel you. I mean, yeah, we can nitpick and like, what's your point?
The point I'm making is that again, when it comes to assessing players, and I get you saying that you don't do this, but I think that in particular, especially the gap between 5, 6, and 7, there probably will be nitpicks. My argument is that like if my argument towards why you're not is that the value of who you are as a scorer, especially rim pressure and getting to the basket, isn't where it needs to be
Where
to
does it
put
need
you
to be
in.
in order? Where does it need to be?
If we're talking about other players who are getting to the free throw line and put more rim pressure, such as like a Luka, then I think that like that right there would be in favoring a Luka. If I'm comparing you and Luka, I would undeniably say that he gets to the rim more often. He puts more pressure on the basket more often. Like those are things that I would undeniably say are true.
So what's that? I mean, so like, what's his play style? What point are you trying to make? I don't get it.
The point I'm trying to make is that if I'm having a conversation with somebody and we're discussing the ability to score, the dynamic ability to score, just even offense in general, right? Again, if people want to just blankly stay about the scoring aspect, I'm fine with the idea of you scoring. But if I then bring up the lack of rim pressure in contrast to someone like Luca and why I would favor Luca, if their immediate response to that would be, I think potentially an embellishment of how often you get to the free throw line, and then I'm comparing you to Luca or I bring up to Luca, then that's where like the disconnect happens because then even especially if I bring up somebody else who I just believe gives more pressure to the rim than you, especially like a Luka or a Giannis, then they pivot to another conversation that has nothing to do with what we're talking about it what besides accepting it. And so what you're saying that you think you got to the free throw line a lot in that series, I think two of those games you did. I don't think that the remainder of the series you did though.
Well, I guess. So your point is that like you don't want to put me in the same conversation with Luca and the rest of the top 5 guys. That's what this whole spaces is about, right?
No, my point is that people who have you where they have you just should be consistent from one
No,
point
but
to the
Lo,
other.
you don't think he's top 5, so stop dancing around the
Yes,
question.
but that's
Yeah,
not.
just
But
say
that's
that,
not. But
bro.
that's. But that's
Just
not. That's not that.
I think you making shit way more complicated than it should be when we involved in the game. Like who talking? Yo, you're not good because of rim pressure. Like I didn't even know y'all even
Who
got
said?
like
Who
you.
said? Who said that you weren't good though?
No,
Who said
I'm
that you
just
weren't?
saying that's a talking point. Talking the game. Like a lot of
Oh
people
well,
don't even.
I'm not. I'm not. I never said
The
that you weren't good.
package.
That never
No,
came
no,
out
I'm
of my
just
mouth.
saying. I'm just using that as an example. Like we talking rim
Okay,
pressure
well,
and
well,
playoff
I don't
drills.
know.
Like when you and your friends
Hey,
talk, that's how y'all
KD,
talk about
KD,
ball. It's just like the way
KD,
ball being
how you
No,
feel
wait. I
how you
think, boy,
how
stop,
you feel
stop,
about Bill
stop.
on your team?
Oh fuck,
I
bro.
just think the way
Jesus.
ball being talked about nowadays, not just you, but just in general, I just be looking like it's just there's too many layers that people trying to use to justify why their favorite players are the best or why they view as the best or what they say is the holy grail of basketball. I just be thinking this would be a bunch
Wait,
of
so how
self-serving
you pick?
Yes, I
bullshit.
think I think getting rim pressure can definitely be a determination on the evaluation of someone, especially when your coach last season, Monty Williams, would go to the podium and complain about how y'all weren't getting enough free throw attempts every other game. Now you weren't on that team for most of that time, but when Monty Williams used to complain about the lack of free throw attempts, yes,
Everybody,
there's some
every coach would come up there and say that.
no,
Everybody
but
do this.
Monty used to do it routinely. And I think that did hurt the Suns' offense last year. The lack of appearances at the free throw line, but it's hard to get free throw attempts if you're not attacking the basket. Would you not agree?
I don't think I just settle for threes though.
I didn't say you. You asked me the evaluation of rim pressure. There is a lot of value in it.
I just think when you break the 3 point line, not necessarily you don't always necessarily have to get to the rim, but I think you can create a lot if you just break the 3 point line. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Our game is played behind the 3 point line. I feel like a lot of teams, a lot of players can settle, just shoot a lot of threes. But once you break that, you're gonna get the defense to react. Now, if you get all the way to the rim, that's cool. But sometimes you can just touch the paint, beginning of the paint, and then you can create something or make it or take an easy shot. I feel like if I pull up in the lane, regardless of laying the ball up, that's a layup to me.
And in that series, you just so happen to be shooting bad on your layups.
On my what?
On what you would consider a layup to you, you were just shooting bad on your layups in that series.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
But my
Okay.
career ain't just about one series though.
But the top five argument isn't about your career either. It's about this season.
But a lot of, I mean, who in your top five? First off.
Right now,
Hmm.
Jokic, Giannis, Curry, Luka, and Embiid.
Why you choose that five? That's a great five. I mean, you can't go wrong with any. There's so many players in this league. Like you can put a whole totally different five and be like, all right, that's cool too. They all play well too. But why that five?
I think the top three in particular are consistently relative to like a lot of other players, especially this season, are more available than a lot of other players. I think they tend to translate, or at least they have something that can translate at a very high level in the postseason when teams are specifically scheming against them better than a lot of other people. And I also think that just their impact, regardless of like obviously like Giannis's impact defensively is different from like Jokic and vice versa, but for example, I just think like Jokic's impact on the offensive side of the floor and the things that he's able to provide really does alter not only what his team can do, but also how the opposing team defends them. And I think the more valuable and the more consistent you are at that, especially trying to alter teams offensively or defensively in the postseason, lends to me favoring you higher than one person or the other. And then, but for me personally, I just think that if, in particular to you, if there's a noticeable regression from the shot making that you have, especially when you're going up against more physical forwards such as Aaron Gordon or the year prior, JT and them in Boston, then that's kind of a pause for question. That's why I would hesitate to put you top five.
I wouldn't. Me being in your top five, I'm not. There's nothing wrong with me not being in your top five. I just want to know what's your criteria. Everybody got different criteria. Me being top 10, me being
Yeah, you clearly top 10. You're top 10. That's not.
me not being in the top 10. I'm not sitting here like, oh, you're totally wrong about that. I understand. You got your own perspective on the game, but I just wonder what everybody criteria. I think everybody got different criteria about for why they watch the game.
And again, I agree. If their criteria heavily favored things that you are heavily impactful on, then I have no problem with that.
No,
But
I'm not trying to convince you to change your top
oh
five.
no, 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 no. I'm not specifically talking about you either. I'm talking about
Okay.
anybody else. If their criteria is heavily favoring things that you were highly impactful on, then I have no problem. But if somebody tells me the reason why somebody else can't be top five because they missed XYZ amount of games in the regular season, but they end up playing more games than you did in the regular season, well then that doesn't, you know what I'm saying? That criticism doesn't really add up because you're criticizing them for lack of games played, but then overlooking that when it comes to you. And that's where I'm saying the standard seems to be different because how are you criticizing player A for lack of games played, but KD last year only played 47 games? That's what
He just crashed out, by the way. He probably gonna come back up. Just want to let you know, big dog.
oh my
I just want to know
gosh.
how he like evaluates shit. To be honest with you, like 'cause he
Yeah,
said,
King,
he
I
said
just
being
want to
bad,
know. I mean,
and I just want to know
I just
like
want to hear his
what
answer
he
to
makes,
one
like what
question I
makes a
got.
player good in his eyes.
And
Like,
Lo,
what?
why do you keep wait? Because Lo, why do you keep doing it? He's trying to figure out like why you are so upset by why other niggas think he's top five, bro.
I've
Can
already answered it several times. The
he is
inconsistency
man?
of it. I've
I can't
already
say.
answered it. I don't know how many other times I can answer the question, nigga.
I can't.
I'm literally outlining the question right now. It's the inconsistency on the standard in which you're holding him to. If you're going to criticize
Yeah, but
someone
he's saying
else,
that people are held to inconsistencies all the time. So why are you so mad about KD specifically?
oh, I'm mad about a bunch of people who are inconsistent.
No,
I
you're
mean,
not,
I ain't
Lo.
gonna lie,
Not to
bro.
this degree.
I
You're
ain't
Yes,
gonna
not.
lie,
yes,
bro.
Not
yes,
to this
You
yes,
said
degree,
yes,
dude.
postseason
Come
and
on,
brought up
man.
Luca and
Bro,
them
when I
niggas.
saw
You
this
kind of
space,
lost
I'm
me,
like,
yes,
gang.
Come on,
when I,
man.
when I
yes,
saw
I
the
am.
space, when
That's
I saw
cap,
the
bro.
space, I'm like, he hating on KD again. I don't know what to tell you, bro.
Oh, this was just so because people wanted me to respond to him, but I mean, I get it.
I just want to know. I just want to know if he values one criteria over the other. Because
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
want. He said it's we put too many layers on it. Like, what does he feel like?
it's just these political answers is like these not really answers. These like
He
blanket
don't
terms.
know
Like
you niggas.
these I
I'm
accept
about to say, I don't know
everybody.
why y'all think he gonna respond
I'm
to that.
saying
He's
he
not
don't
gonna
know you
answer
niggas.
that.
Why would he respond to you like
Nigga,
He's
it's
not
that?
a
gonna
recorded
answer
Twitter
that.
Nigga,
space.
he
He's not gonna
responding
answer
to
that.
Low. What are you talking about?
Period. Yeah,
That's
politically.
blazing.
He's
What?
not gonna respond. He's not gonna respond to what specifically makes. He's not going to, bro. I hate to
Yo,
tell you.
so low, you don't feel like no matter what somebody tell you and what kind of criteria they give you on why they think KD's top 5, you're not gonna push back?
If
He already said that if he has criteria that heavily favors KD, and that's why you have him top 5, then he's fine with that. He's just mad about the inconsistencies in which people will argue it.
Yeah,
I
I
just
get
think
that.
the whole reason for
I
why
get
he
that. I'm
doesn't
saying
have
I don't
top
think it's
5 is
just that
dumb.
though. I think regardless,
Wait, so Low, you're not mad at him being top five. You're
I
just
think
mad at the
regardless,
argument.
whoever got him in KD in the top 5, he don't fuck with it. Period. I think he don't want to say that out loud, but I do think you think that though. Like,
no, and also let me say this as well
So
for
you're
people.
wait. So
For
low, low,
people,
low, low,
wait.
low. You're mad
What?
about the argument then, right? You're just
I'm just
mad
mad
about.
about the argument. I'm not mad at
Okay, so
KD.
then
I don't
that's
all
care.
right,
fine.
Let me
all
say
right,
one
all
other.
right, cool.
For
But
people who
Blow, I
wait,
think. Oh,
I
go
want
ahead.
to say this real quick. For people who sit here and say that they think that I'm more, this is the thing that I'm upset about. I've made more videos, not just Twitter posts, whole on videos edited or paid somebody to edit it, full on videos about the inconsistencies about Giannis and Jokic more than I have ever for Kevin Durant. Matter of fact, even when I've been on the brink of making a video about Kevin Durant, I've actually pulled off and decided not to do it and give him another year or allow another year to pass on. So for y'all to think that I'm upset at KD, no, I'm way more upset at the inconsistencies that have been shown to Giannis and Jokic over the past 2 to 3 years. I've not only made posts about it, I've made full-on spaces about it, and I've made full-on videos about it. Stop.
Bro, wait. I ain't gonna lie, bro. That's 2 players. Think of this. You say KD was top 5? I'm saying you said you got a problem with KD being top 5 and naming 2 niggas.
And I think the
That's not
original
adding up to me, gang.
the original issue though that I had with one of your premise was just what you said about Embiid and about AD. But I do think that you asking the questions as the later half of that conversation actually got into the nuance of like why he thinks the way he does. He genuinely just doesn't believe that his play style has been affected and or changed. And he also does feel like he's getting rim pressure. He thinks rim pressure and paint pressure for him are similar things, and therefore he's being just as effective. So again, that's like kind of getting into just his mind, like how he thinks. I disagree, obviously, but I think even when you're evaluating basketball, like I have a higher priority on playmaking and shot creation than I do anything else. And so I think
But
players
yeah, it's
that
the main meat of the
But
game.
I don't think it's just that. I don't think it's just that. I think he just don't like the fact that scrutiny. It's so much scrutiny on when a player does anything. That's
Yeah, but
basically what he's saying.
it's
Like,
also
nigga, if
convenient
you
though, Jay
good, if you
Will.
good. If you bad, you bad. And it's not
But
that simple. But to
But
But
what?
Jay
him,
Will,
he don't
I
like the
think
criticism. I
it's
think
Y'all,
also
he don't like the
just
convenient.
think that
criticism
that's
and
how he
shit, bro.
talks about basketball. I'm here to tell you.
It's convenient though,
Basically don't
because
like the criticism and shit. Basically, bro. Like,
Low,
hold
man.
on.
Low, this is
But
funny. Listen to this,
the
man.
criticism isn't towards
Yo,
him. It's
Ash, bro.
towards the
nah, I
people
know.
who
That's
see that
why I asked
Crazy,
program.
him.
dog.
He went from
Hey
saying
man,
you never cared
Katie,
about
you
rankings,
know.
but you
but it's a
literally
moving
said you
needle
didn't want to
though.
be the second. You literally said that you
Insane
cared
thing.
about
Not
being
gonna
number
lie.
2 before, and now you didn't care about it. Like
I'm about to
that's
say if
weird.
y'all, I mean, that's another reason why. I mean, we doing the politics.
These are bro. I mean, he's a media trained. We know like these are not his actual answers, bro.
Yeah,
Nah,
but
these are, bro. He's at this point where he don't give a
Jay
fuck
Will.
about none of this shit.
No,
That's my
Stand
I
by that.
agree. I
He
Jay
agree
do
Will.
stand
That's why
by
I
that
now.
came
for
up
real.
because I feel like he was conflicting, right? Like
I agree
one
now. I
on
don't think he
the rim
cares. I
pressure
think he's
thing.
trying.
Like he thinks he can still get rim pressure, but like this is about what you actually do, right? Like, are you actually doing it? And then like the other thing is like, bro, if you don't care about the list, you're dissecting the list. You feel what I'm saying? So like it just seemed to be like moving targets. So that's why
Yeah,
when
I see what you're saying, J Dub. But my thing is, I also been saying this for years. After the post Achilles, in my opinion, some niggas love their game. So KD can be in his mind on one point, like, bro, I can get to the rim. I
Yeah,
can do whatever
KD's
I
not
want to
about to
do,
come up here and admit that he don't
I
get to the rim the
fuck
same
with the
way.
pull up. I fuck with the pull up. I fuck with the fade. Like I fuck with that more than getting to the rim. But at the end of the day, as analysts, we looking at this shit like, well, what if it's more than that, and you just don't really see that?
it ain't about the can, it's
That's
about
the
what you do though.
conflict. That's
That's
the
my issue.
conflict right there. That's the conflict.
The nigga literally said that, like going up against Christian Brown and Aaron Gordon, he was just missing. Like, come on, like, bro, what are we? Like,
He was just,
completely disregarding the
I
But
ain't
I
gonna
defense.
think,
lie,
You
bro.
disagree with
again,
that though?
I think no, because
No,
I think,
I
but
think
Low,
that's
I
a part
think
of who he is,
if you let people, this is my thing. If you ask people direct
Bruh.
questions and then they give you their answer, they tell you how they think. And so even if he wants to like try to sideways and say that like I was whatever. My play style wasn't changed. I was just missing shots. That also goes to show this is maybe why you've seen this kind of play from him for a number of years now, where if you just genuinely just think it's coming down to missing shots, and maybe somebody's not challenging you about that, and you're just your coaches, your teammates, or whatever, and you're just going to repeat that behavior over and over as years go on, then yeah, then I completely understand why
But
you
he
think it's
also,
just a matter of being good or bad.
but Swipe, he also
Go
said
ahead.
that he do think it's team concepts. Like he think he's being schemed in a way that like
But he said
takes
the
away
paint was
certain things. He
clogged.
did say
He
that
He
too,
said
said,
the
though. To
paint
be
was
fair,
clogged. Come on.
yeah,
he said what?
but Aiton,
He
but he
said
said
the
the paint was
paint was
clogged.
clogged.
Yeah,
Like,
but
nigga,
then
this is not 99. What are we talking about?
I mean, but okay, wait. Boston was clogging his lanes,
No,
bro.
this year.
No, but okay. Oh, but this year you're talking
Now
about
he
this
never
year
Okay.
when the
responded
Denver.
back
Bro,
to
the
that.
Nuggets were,
He
bro,
never
I ain't gonna
responded
No,
lie.
back
The
to
he
that
Nuggets
though
did.
were
when
He
you
playing
tried
did
to
say
make him
hard
the
on
about
paint
D
this
was
shit.
Blood,
clogged
He
nigga.
this
Are
said the
you
year.
paint
blood?
was
Nah, he didn't respond
clogged
back to
this
that from
year.
this shit though.
Bro, they were playing high hedge. They were technically clogging. Like you don't understand that, nigga?
I mean, he can't turn the corner as well as he can, as well
But
as
they
he
were
used
And
to.
gapping.
that's a
But
part
You
of
that's
the
understand that?
wait. But
Bro,
that's
they
conversation.
were
that's a part
ignoring
of it.
one
That's a
Y'all
player
part
the
didn't
of
bring
whole.
that
losing a
up
step
though.
though. That's
That's
a part
what
of
no,
losing a
I'm
step.
trying to, and the niggas keep talking about a whole bunch of other shit.
Oh,
I'm
okay. All right.
I'm
All
trying to
right.
get to the
Nigga, you
bottom
had
to
the
what
floor,
happened
bro. You
in
had the
this
floor, bro.
postseason run because
Yeah, I'm about to say he
belief,
did.
from my belief, especially post Achilles, when he's getting played up against players his height, his size, against physical with him from a forward perspective, then I don't believe the level of efficiency that catapults him into the top 5, top 3, number 1, I guess, conversations that some people put him in. If that's not seen in a postseason, then why would I? What? That's where the
Bro,
questioning
you
comes
I
can't
in.
say
think
that and
the
put
the
Embiid
reason I
over
brought
him,
up that's
nigga.
what I said.
You
That's
can't
why
say
when
that
you
and
when
bring
you
up
brought up
Embiid,
Embiid,
bro.
bro, that's where that whole
Oh, but
thing fell
I
apart.
think, but if KD was hurt, just like how in 2019 when he didn't finish in 2019 when KD didn't finish a postseason run,
Towards Achilles.
I'm still giving KD the benefit of the doubt even when he was hurt, and I don't think that he's the same player.
But I'm saying, but you bringing up Joel Embiid to be a
Damn, bro,
juxtaposition to
niggas ain't
Kevin
even saying.
Durant.
Wait, real quick. Yo, the
And
time,
you should not
The
have muted
timeline is
him.
wait,
hilarious
the
right now,
timeline
bro.
is yo.
Killing low, bro.
Timeline is peak right
Niggas is cooking the shit out of Flizzop and Katie. Crying.
Oh man.
Niggas is saying Katie's so cooked. He's spending time talking to Swiper, dog. I'm crying. Yo. Oh my god. I'm sorry. I just
That was
This
a
nigga ass.
dumb and unpurposeful mute, Ash, like you always have, bro. Waste of space, my brother.
yo.
Also,
That
if I could be mistaken, but if from my understanding, my recollection of that Nugget series, it outside of again like 1 or 2 games, it wasn't a lot of him breaking the 3-point line. It was more or less him setting up in the mid-range area and then deciding to take the shot or kind of deciphering where the defense was playing him if they were doubling or not. However, I don't want to say that definitively because I'm gonna double check it, but I'm almost 100% sure it was not KD at the top of the key breaking the 3-point line and he putting pressure on the defense that way and just pulling up from three.
Nah, I mean, it wasn't. Nah, it wasn't that. But
Bro, I ain't gonna
I
lie,
do
bro.
think
KD
when he
not
did
here
have
no
the
more,
ball at the
nigga.
top,
Why you telling me this?
I think when he did have the ball at the top, he wasn't breaking it, but at the same time, he was seeing the scheme or seeing niggas play the gap really strong, like
I'm
every
not. I'm
fucking
not. I'm
time.
not. I'm not saying that. But when he's saying is when he's addressing rim pressure, he's saying when you break the 3-point line, even if I pull up from mid, then I think that's still pressure, which is fine. If that's fine. I'm not denying that. But I don't even think that was enough of his shot
Oh,
selection.
well, in games 3 and 4, he did it a little bit more than games 1 and 2. I think
is that rim
he started
pressure
to
That's
though?
that's
reject the
what that.
screen.
But
Nigga,
He
no,
started
it's
to
not rim
reject the
pressure.
screen. He
I
started to
mean,
reject
that's
the screen
rim
and go the
pressure
other
to
way.
him,
So
right? That's
he
what you're
did it
saying.
Rim
more in three and
pressure.
four.
That's rim pressure to him. But I mean, at the end of the day, right? If you're breaking the line and you seeing a bunch of guys is affecting you, I think that's like another criticism of your game at that
so
point.
that's what I was about to say.
What that goes
If
to
you're telling
playmaking
me,
though.
but
Because if you're saying that because you see 3 or 4 guys, you can't do what another nigga who sees the same coverage or like even worse coverage is doing, then you're basically saying like, yeah, that nigga's better than me at doing that. You know what I'm saying? So
literally.
That is true. I'm not gonna lie, but he's confusing paint and rim pressure though. I'm not gonna lie.
Nah, this
yeah.
is
So
insane,
so
man.
so if Lowe thinks 5 niggas do that better than him, then Lowe says those 5 niggas are better
No,
than
I
him.
just
No,
think,
but
That's
and
after
again, I wanna be clear. My assessment on impact of what players do, like I agree with him, is based off of what your team is asking out of you. That's what it is. And so, from a scoring perspective, if there's an aspect of scoring that he's not providing, which I do believe some of which has to do with rim pressure and being able to like collapse defenses, et cetera, et cetera. Even when he is, pulling up from mid, I don't recall him making assessments or adjustments from breaking the 3-point line. Like I vividly remember a lot of those sets of his was below the 3-point line. They were putting him in position, elbow, wing. Not saying he was never at the top of the key. Not saying that. Not saying he wasn't above the break. Not saying that either. But there was definitely a lot of times where they were just isoing him out on the wing, especially with Christian Brown and Aaron Gordon. And then if that was the case, then like you're not breaking anything. We're just asking you to make a shot, one or no. But
Man, his
again,
but
it doesn't really
his
matter.
response though would be what he's looking at it as what he's capable of, and we're looking at it what you do. Like, bro, if you're not doing it, you know what I'm saying? And that's why I came up because I feel like that was a little bit convenient, right? His argument is he feels like he should be top 5 because he's still in his mind he's still capable of doing it.
I don't think
If
he's
you're
saying
not
that
fucking
either.
I
doing
don't
it,
think he's
No,
making
no,
an
he
argument
wasn't
for top
saying
He's
that.
five.
not. He's
Making an
not. He's not saying
argument
why he's
whether or
top
not he
5.
was
He
top
wasn't saying
five.
he should be top 5. He was
No.
saying basically everything under the rainbow is valid.
but no,
Yeah.
but
I,
when we
I, I
were
think,
arguing
but
the
I
rim
think for the
Which
pressure,
most
I don't
part, I
think he
just think
even
he think.
believes.
For the most
I
part, I
don't
think
think
he
he
thinks that
believes
Hold
every
everybody.
on, hold on,
conversation
hold
is
on, hold
valid,
on. He
bro.
openly
Because
said he doesn't rock with the ranking system. He doesn't rock with how niggas talk about like us, I guess specifically about like how we rank players and stuff like that. Like he legit said that. So he wasn't trying to make a case
Who
for
the
that.
fuck talk
yeah,
about rim
Like,
pressure
he
and
don't he
shit?
don't ca- he don't care about like top 5
that's
arguments.
literally
But
what he
then
said,
again,
AJ. That's crazy.
but
Who
then
cares
He
again,
just
about
said
rim pressure?
but but
Israel.
then but then again, he is
I'm
also
like a
saying like
narrator.
everyone's criteria is valid. But I don't even think he believes that because the first thing this nigga said, the first thing he responded to when he seen the low video was cooking that nigga. So he don't see that shit as valid, bro. He says it all the time. He don't see the like the analytical shit as valid. So he not really being consistent
That's why I
there.
wanted to ask this nigga, what does he like? How does he view it as? 'Cause he said good and bad, but I'm like, what
He's
does
not
that
gonna.
mean?
That's all. He's not gonna answer. He's gonna just
Bro,
say
he's
niggas is
tap
good.
Yeah,
dancing,
that's
And
man.
why.
I
But
don't
that's
know.
why I told y'all, nigga,
What
it's
is
a
what do you
political answer.
yeah,
Y'all
he's
talking
not.
about
He's not gonna
you and Jay
answer. I
Will
don't know
talking about
why.
some. That's just. I think that's how you really feel. No, he don't really feel like that. We all know this nigga does not see every
the
conversation as
thing is though,
valid.
he
Every
could
criteria
trade.
is
Trade. The
valid,
thing
bro.
is though, he could feel like that, but there's probably more to it.
He
It's not just
don't, nigga.
We
I swear to
don't.
God, if an analytical nigga versus if it was like a nigga, I don't even know. Like if it was a nigga like Swiper or BDS, he's gonna agree. He's gonna value BDS opinion more than Swipers because BDS is you know what I'm saying. He's not like an
Because he's
Nah,
smarter.
analytical
that's not
type of
what it
nigga.
is, bro. Nah, when we take a
Okay,
deep,
bro.
basically, we taking a deep dive on this shit. This is what I think I learned from this shit. If you taking it, you niggas, he said basically like y'all niggas got so many different layers. We're
let's
taking
repeat that. Let's
we're
play
taking a
clear.
deep dive on the game and breaking this shit down too deep to where that's probably why you niggas are criticizing certain players or scrutinizing certain players all because you niggas taking too much of a deep dive on it. That's what I think that nigga's really coming from. Because
I
guess
don't
what? That
care.
can hurt a nigga like
Yeah, so
him
like I
or
just
hurt a
said,
nigga
he
like
would agree with a
anybody. It can
nigga
hurt
like Ball
any
don't
nigga.
stop. Like I just said, he would agree with a nigga like Ball don't stop versus Swiper because
Oh, okay.
Swiper's method of dissecting basketball does not align with KD's, but BDS that method
That
more
nigga
align with
was
KD.
dissecting his teammates when he was in OKC and called them trash. So I don't care. All right,
But
I'm gonna
again,
cash out niggas. I'm cash
all
out.
right, I appreciate it, Lo. Thank you.
Wait. Before you shout it out, Lo, I just don't go on the timeline, big dog. You're absolutely getting fried, bro. This shit is insane.
They're
I
killing
don't
him.
care.
They calling you Legend of Waiting, Legend of what the fuck, man? Yo, y'all have a good night though, man. Lo, thank you for hosting the
We in
space,
Discord.
big
We in
dog.
Discord.
You said we in Discord. I don't know who you are, nigga. I don't know.